Hi, good morning, Sushma.
Good morning, Manisha.
Good morning. Could you please open PPT
Yeah, sure.
and walk through it?
Is my screen visible, Manisha? Good morning, and today's topic is user variable. User variable is nothing but it acts as a filter in forms. It enables the users, to restrict the member options. That is about the user variable. Coming to the next slide. In this topic, we'll able to show us the usage of user variables in the following artifacts. That is in data forms, runtime from business rule and smart view. And the next slide is about creation of user variables. What is the use of user variable? User variable, it acts as a filter in forms which enables the users to focus only on certain members. We can restrict the users to select only few member options. And the next one is what is the difference between user variable and substitution variable? Substitution variable is nothing but it acts as a global placeholder for information that changes regularly. But in user variable, the change will impact only the particular user. But in the substitution variable, the change will impact all the users who are accessing the application. That is the difference between user and substitution. And the next one is which use case do we use user variable over substitution variable? If you want to restrict the users to select only few options to focus on only few options, then in that case, we'll use the user variable. Can you show me how to create a user variable from the following use cases? Note, since we don't have the list of users in the application, try to explain how user variable behaves by using the admin user only by using the use case assumption below. And that is the use case one. Assume user one is the owner of any two entities. Assign those two entities as a values to the entity dimension. Okay, now let us go back to the VM. We need to click on the navigator here, and under the tools we can find the variables card. Just click on that. Here we can find the substitution variables. To create a new user variable, just click on add. Here we need to select the dimension, that is entity, according to the slide. And the user variable name I'm giving as user ent. And we need to select the members, that is any two members. Just expand the total geography and segments here. Expand EN01. And here I'm selecting EN01 underscore 3 and 4. See, and click on OK. This is how we'll create the user variable. Now let's go back to the PPT. Records are saved successfully. Coming to the next slide, here we'll see how usage of user variables in data form. Can you reuse any of the data form and show me how to use the user variable as per use case 1 from slide 3? Okay, for this we need to go to the user preference here. And here we need to select the preference, that is which entity you want to use. Just expand segments. For this, now I'm selecting EN01 underscore 03. Click on OK and click on save. User preferences have been saved. And then we need to go to the forms. Under create and manage, we can find forms here. Expand the library. I have created the form already. Let's open that. Just click on sample and click on edit icon. Now we need to go to the layout. And here I'm from the drop down, I'm selecting the user variable. Just click on edit. We need to click on the variables tab This is the user variable that I have created. Just push it to the right side. Click OK. And then save the form. Just preview the form. EN01_03. This is what I have selected in the user preference so that it is displayed in the form now. Now let us go back to the PPT again. Can you explain how user 1 can access the data form which is created based on the above question in detail of how the entities are restricted the two entities of ownership? Now we have restricted the user to select only two entities. Now we'll go back to the user preference. Before I have selected EN01_03. Now I'm going to select the other member, that is EN01_04. So now in the form it will this member will be reflected in the form now. Click on save. Preferences have been saved. And now we'll go to the form under create and manage. Expand the library and we need to open the form. Click on sample and edit. We'll just preview the form. Now we have got the TN01_04 since we have selected in the user preference as this member. And going back to the PPT, should user 1 supposed to access any of the entities other than the two entities that he or she owns in the data form? No, he can't since we have restricted the user to select only two entities. Only those two entities can be accessed by the user 1, but no, not the other. Coming to the user requirement, can you show me how to enable a dynamic user variable? We need to go to the forms again. We need to go to the other options here. Expand the dynamic user variable. I'm selecting the user variable that I have created. Just push it to the right side and we need to enable the dynamic user variable here. Click on save. Okay. Take any parent entity as an example. Show how only the children of that parent entity are filtered in the data form. When we create the dynamic user variable, let me show this in the data form. Go to the home page. Just click on data card here. Expand forms. And then open this form as a sample. Here, when we enable the dynamic user variable, it will be shown separately. So here we can select the EN014 or EN01_03 according to our requirement. Okay. And then when the data form is saved, the business rule should run only in the context of entity selection made. For this, we need to go to the business rules in the form. Just click on the navigator and we need to go to the forms under create and manage. Just expand the library here. Next, click on forms and we need to open the form again that we have already created. Go to the business rules. Here we need to enable use members on forms here. Click on save. And then coming to the next slide, here we'll see how usage of user variables in runtime prompts. Runtime prompts are nothing but the prompts that occur at the time of business rules. Can we use user variable in runtime prompt? Yes, we can use. If yes, can you limit the user variable in the runtime prompt? to be able to restrict user 1 from accessing the entities other than she or he owns. Yes, so we can limit the user variables in the runtime prompt. Now let us see how to create the runtime prompt. Just click on the navigator and under create and manage, we can find the rules. Just click on that. We need to go to the actions here and click on variable designer. Here we can do it in two ways, that is in a global level or application level. Now let us see about the global level. Here click on actions and click on new, giving the name as RTP underscore ENT and the type is member. I'm selecting it as member and dimension type is entity. Only if you enable the RTP text here, only then the limits will be displayed. We can type there. We need to select the RTP first, enable, and then limits. Here we need to give the username, that is with the prefix as ampersand, that user entity, and default value is also same as limits. Let's start with the prefix ampersand. And here you need to enter the text, that is select the entity. And click on save here. This is how you'll create the runtime prompts. It has saved successfully. Now let us go to the system view in order to create the business rule. Let us go back to the PPT. Use this RTP in the business rule to show me how it works. For this, we need to create the business rule first. Usage of user variable in business rule. Can you show me how to use the user variable in the business rule? Yes. Let us go back to the application. That is calculation manager. Just expand. Here we need to create the, if you want to create the new rule, just click on actions and new object here. We need to select the application type, that is EPM cloud, and the application is FCCS, and the cube type is console. And coming to the object type, since we are creating the rule, we need to select the rule in the object type. Just will give the name as rule 2. Just click on OK. Rule 2 is created. It is open for editing now. Now here we need to give the script that is as shown in the slide. 6. Can you show me how to use the user variable in the business rule? Okay, here the script, the command will start with fix and the open braces. And we have already created the user variable. We need to mention that here, user ent, and we need to end this by giving the endfix command. And then we need to write the command again for the RTP prompts. Flower braces. RTP and we need to end this with endfix command. And now just we need to save this first. Just click on save. Rule 2 is save. The RTP, see, we have created the RTP, right? That name, it will be available here. And now we need to validate this. Just click on validate. The rule has validated with no errors. Just click on OK. And now we need to deploy the rule. It's getting deploying. The business rule which we have created is getting deployed now. It is getting deployed, and now let us go back to the PPT. Can you explain what advantage does the usage of user variable has over substitution variable in business rule? Generally, if you want to restrict the user to focus only on certain members, then in that case, we'll use the user variable. That is the main advantage. Substitution variables are generally created only for the periods and years, but not for the entities and all. Can you explain which of the following approach is recommended or not recommended for using entity in business rule? Please explain why if you can. Generally for the hard coding entity, it is a repetitive task and it's the time taking process. And for the user variable and substitution variable, every time we need to go to the forms and we need to push that. Generally, it is a time taking process. But while using RTP, it will generate the prompt there. So I recommend this is the best approach using runtime prompt and using user variable in smart view. Okay, for this we need to go to the Excel first. Just click on Excel. Just click on the blank workbook. We need to go to the smart view. Click on the panel and click on private connections here. We need to select the URL that is smart view. Where here we need to enter the login details. That is the login ID and password. Just click on go here. We need to expand the library in order to open the form that we have created. Click on sample and open through ad hoc analysis. And here I'm going to give the user variable that is with the prefix as ampersand. User int. And we need to click on refresh. Here the user variable which we have created will be enabled here. This is how we'll use the user variable in Smart View. Now let us go back to the PPT. And in this topic, we have concluded to show us the usage of user variable in the following artifacts, that is in data forms, runtime from business rule and Smart View. Thank you. That's it from my end, Manju.
Thank you, Sushma.
Yeah.
You can leave now.
Yeah, thank you.